Well cold. It's well cold. Hence I'm in this thing. I wasn't even in the stands. It was cold. It's freezing. Freezing season. And the editors is on once again. Oh, went away there. Let's just share this. Let's share this. Right. What? How you doing, Jask? It's the editors again. The editors once again. That's I don't know. Really annoying, that one. In respect to, like, you know what? I don't forget all the situation, Ange Postecoglou, how you feel about him, how you feel about Daniel Levy, blah 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 blah. Like that that's just kind of annoying in the respect that I think Spurs actually did quite well today. I think we played pretty well. We were up against it. Illness, injuries, everything. And for the most part, most of the team really played really quite well, put up a good fight. Um, just frustrating. It's annoying because you sort of have to wonder where are the wins coming from? Where are they going to come from? And I had Adam Nathan on the pod this week, and we were talking about just in the sense of, like, because it was becoming a little bit more a part of the conversation, right? We were talking about where are the wins going to come from? Could Spurs be in any sort of relegation trouble? And we quickly were like, look, Spurs aren't going to get relegated. It's not going to happen. Um, but not but. I don't mean but as in, like, maybe we could. But what I'm saying is we still have to win some games, and right now we don't seem to be able to get a win. But, like, there were so many, like, times in this where the ball just didn't quite falters. It just didn't quite bounce the right way. It didn't quite go into, sort of into Solanke's path, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really annoying. It's just a really annoying game because I think we mostly played quite well, and yeah, just annoying to see Spurs lose. I'm just bored of seeing Spurs lose all the time. Um, Another game where we're sort of going to come away from this and have to look for positives because it didn't quite go our way, but let's just try and be positive about it. It's just frustrating. It's just, it is annoying. It's annoying that, I mean, what can we take from that? What can we take from that? I'll say up front, right? Brandon Austin. Why has he not been getting more minutes? I thought he was really good today. Fraser Forster, yeah, sure, he's made some good reflex saves and things like that. He's also had some absolute arse flaps in there. And what do you get from? I don't know. I don't really know what do the team get from playing a sort of an ancient goalkeeper versus a young lad from our academy who, I mean, was really good today. I thought when he was called in touch, could he have done much with the goals? Don't think so, to be honest with you. You'd probably be harsh to say he could have done any better with the goals. So I think he was fine. I think his distribution was good. I think he was especially good in the air, claiming the ball under a lot of pressure as well on those corners. Newcastle, which I'm going to say, it's not just a Newcastle thing, and it's nothing about Newcastle. It's something the Premier League or just the referees need to be stricter on, because Arsenal have been doing it for however long. Newcastle are just sort of playing the system that's presented itself, but they were cheating. What they were doing from the corners is cheating. It's cheating. Like, just boxing the goalkeeper off like that. it's a foul. But he coped with it. He coped with it pretty well. Claimed the ball very well in the air. I thought his distribution was decent. I mean, you could. I think it'd be harsh. You could sort of argue that he released maybe a little bit quickly. That allowed Newcastle to get their equaliser, but everything was a bit hurried, wasn't it? But we like to sort of break, don't we, from those positions, build from the back. So, I think he's. I think he was good. I think Brendan Austin was good, and I don't really know why he hasn't got more time. A lot of people are reporting that we signed this young goalkeeper from Slava Prague or something like that. 15 mil or something like that. So who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I feel bad for it. I feel bad for the lad. I was kind of worried when he got called in today. More in that sense of like he seems like a nice lad. He hasn't been getting an opportunity, and I can imagine this now getting a sort of an opportunity to play will be quite massive for him. And I think he did well. I think he did well. Gave a good account of himself. I can't really understand why he hasn't done it. I don't know. Porro. I know I do the players individually at the end, but Porro, his best game in Yonks for us. I thought best game in absolutely ages. Jed Spence gave a good account of himself today. Timo Werner, but I don't know. Look, there's not. What is it to say about this game? We got through it. Well, we didn't get through. We lost the game. We lost the game. I think we had 4 first teamers out. Did we? Porro, arguably Sarr, Kulusevski, Solanke, right? And then I guess maybe Johnson. 4, 5 players you would say are, first teamers. Pape Matar, Brennan Johnson even are sort of rotation, both young players, but still, Porro, Kulusevski, Solanke as absolutely solid first team players for Tottenham starting the game today. We lost 2-1 to a Newcastle team who are in absolutely fantastic form. Alexander Isak, who's just on an absolute roll at the moment, brilliant. I've got to say that it's really irritating because I know he got banned for so long, didn't he, for whatever it was, gambling or something, wasn't it? That Tonali he's well good. I think Tonali is really, really good. Absolutely just sort of dictated the tempo of the game today, I thought. And I think Spurs tried their best. I think we, a lot of the chances we were creating were quite scrappy. And I think that's something I would reflect on at large about Spurs, that I know we've had our issues defensively and everything, but I still would like to see a bit more invention from us in an attacking capacity. And I know some people will argue that without James Maddison on the pitch, we don't get that. He came on today. I think he was good from set pieces for us. He's ill, so I'm not going to give you my usual kind of dig out of James Maddison. But yeah, we're not often that smart with the ball. We're not often that smart in possession. We managed to hold on to the ball quite well, and the possession stats will always sort of skew our way. But how much that how much that suggests that Spurs are the better team or not, I don't know. And I don't know, and I don't really agree. But I mean, the thing I mostly want to say about the team from this one is they played with a lot of heart, and I think I think Adam nailed it really very well when we were talking about it on the pod this week. Is whether you have skepticism about Ange Postecoglou or not as a fan, as I've voiced in the past, and whether or not you have skepticism about our capacity to succeed under him playing the type of football that he does. What you have to give him really is that the players are still playing. There was a lot of heart on the show today. It wasn't like the kind of the death throes of Conte or Mourinho when it really felt like everybody had just given up. Everybody had thrown in the towel. They clearly didn't want those two managers there anymore. You don't feel that way from this team. I mean, you might be able to argue today there's a lot of young players who are trying to make a name for themselves, trying to make a case for their continued inclusion into the team. But that would be really quite cynical. I think. I think it's fair to say that I think Ange Postecoglou still has the buy-in from the players, and as such, that's credit to him. Um, and it feels like it's today, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard, isn't it? Because is sentiment enough if Spurs find themselves finishing 15th in the league? Who knows? I don't know. We shouldn't do. You'd hope not. You'd hope that once we get a few of these first team players back, things will start to look good, much better for Spurs anyway, at least. But today was a performance with a lot of heart. And I feel mostly frustrated just in a kind of, in a kind of like toddlerish tantrumy way. I feel frustrated that it just didn't go our way, that we just didn't manage to get, the break. Do you know what I mean? We didn't manage to get something just go our way a bit, just that sort of that ball that gets deflected in a certain way that means that, that Spurs got something. Because it wouldn't have been against the run of play. I think a draw probably would have been a fair reflection on today, on the game overall, and just didn't get it, did we? We didn't get it. It's just annoying, isn't it? Because I mean, the reason why I say I sort of feel tantrum is because it's like when things are not going particularly well for us, right? When we're not getting sort of the rubber with regard to injuries. We're not getting things kind of go our way, just in matches, in certain decisions and things like that. You just want that bit of luck. Sometimes you just want that bit of luck, and it feels like we never tend to get that. I think we all sold our souls to that Champions League run, didn't we, in 2019? Because we got a lot of it then. We got a lot of luck. We got a lot of good bounces and lucky decisions. Things go our way in that one. Yeah, I don't know. Darren says that Bergvall should be a starter over Bentancur or Basuma for next season. You know what? It's funny because there was a lot of booing, wasn't there, when Bergvall got taken off? And I'll hold my hands up to this. I didn't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just wasn't watching properly. But my overall takeaway from a lot of Bergvall's performance today, really, and I'm not just trying to be edgy. I'm sorry, but was that he seems like a good player, but I don't think he's ready for this level yet. I don't know. It's kind of how I felt about it watching it. I'm not blaming him for a second. I think he played with a lot of heart. I think he played to the best of his ability, but I think that Newcastle midfield had the absolute makings of him. I feel that way, and I don't think that. The thing is, I don't think he's doing anything wrong. He's a young. My point is, he's a young player. It's his first. He's not used to playing at this type of a level, and I think it kind of shows. I think he tried, and I think that's great, and that's great credit to him. But in terms of do I think he's ready to start games for Spurs in that position, or would I still like to see us go and spend money on a big midfielder and still keep Bergvall as a player for the future, a player developing in the background? Absolutely, because I don't, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's a case that he's not good enough. I'm just saying that he's young, and I think it's too much for him just now. But I appreciate that might not be a sort of popular perspective right now. But it's just, I don't know. I just sort of feel like we're not winning the league with him. I mean, we're not we're not winning the league anyway. But you get my point. Is that if we want to sort of be in those places that we apparently aspire to be in, I don't think we get there with him there just yet. I think he's too young. I think he's too young. I don't think he's got the experience, and I think he should still be somebody that's getting experience through either maybe a loan out to a Premier League side, get more minutes there. But I don't know, whatever. I don't take this. The thing is, I know what happens at the back of this now is somebody will present a thing like when, if somebody says, as often happens, I'll get tagged into something where somebody will say, listen to Rule the Roost. I quite like to Trunk or whatever. And it'll be, no, last week he was saying that Bergvall shouldn't be starting for Tottenham. And he just gets presented like, and I get it. I know that's the internet. And I probably do that constantly to journalists and stuff. I don't look at this thing Barney Ronay said. What a wanker. And present like an excerpt of something out of context. I get it, it's the game, isn't it? It's what happens. Jask says it's positive that we're still the second highest scoring team after this bad run of form. It shows that just the injuries in defence is letting our season down so far. Maybe, mate. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's good that we're still scoring goals, isn't it? But, I don't know. I mean, we were still losing games when we didn't have the injuries. So, I don't know. Deuce as well, signing Dragusin and Johnson for a system that wants to dominate the ball. I don't get it. Well, Dragusin, I think the point has always been made that we were kind of desperate, weren't we? We were kind of desperate for a defender. We needed some more bodies and whatever. And yeah, but I made a pithy remark about him being shit today. And I got quickly and probably rightly told that he's injured, leave him alone. And I think that's probably fair. But Paul King, right, good lad. He tagged me in something today, just saying like, just for you, and it was a video of Dragusin. Basically, where is it? What minute is it in? I can't see it. Let me see. It's in about the 42nd minute. It's Dragusin under zero pressure whatsoever, just passing the ball out, passing the ball out of touch. He's so bad on the ball. He wasn't very good for either goal today. I thought it might be harsh to say, but I think he just kept backing off of Anthony Gordon, who is a very, very good player, but why? I don't know. He just had a lot of space to do what he did to us, and also obviously for the second goal, probably a bit harsh. Probably a bit harsh to sort of go too hard on him for it, but why not? Why not? Let's blame somebody. Let's blame somebody for the thing, for us being happy because we've lost. Let's blame somebody else for our miserable lives. This is it. We come to this sport. We come here because we wanted just a distraction from everything, from the cost of living, from wars, from all that sort of stuff, right? We come to football because we want to forget it. We want to forget the fact that we're back at work now, that the holiday season's done, that Christmas is over, that most of us all drunk too much and we're all feeling a kind of delayed hangover as a result of that. We all feel miserable. We want to escape. We want to watch Tottenham. We want to feel happy. And somebody out there wearing that Tottenham shirt today is the reason why we're not happy. And that person today is Radu Dragusin. What a scumbag. What a scumbag out there, all 22 years old. 22 years old, getting paid money to play football, right? He doesn't know he's born, does he? He doesn't know he's born. It's his fault with his top knot. Not meeting my expectation. Look at me, sat here in my it's not an Udi, it's a Snuggie, this one's called. See, I even got a knockoff Udi. Sat there in my cold house because I don't want to turn the heating on because it's too expensive. I was looking to be warmed by the joy of a Tottenham Hotspur win. And I didn't get that. Because of Radu Dragusin. Radu, it's all your fault. I'm not going to blame Ange Postecoglou. I'm going to blame you, Radu Dragusin, for why I'm not happy. All your fault. I'm going to go on the internet. And I'm going to write profanities about you on there because that will make me feel better. That will pull me from the misery void that I'm swirling around on, this vortex of, displeasure. It's all your fault. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Why can't Spurs just win games? Why can't we just win games? What's the Premier League looking like? What is the Premier League looking like, the table? 12th. So if West Ham win today, they'd go above us. Man United win, could go above us. Crystal Palace win, they wouldn't go above us. So we could in theory, by the end of the weekend, we could be in 14th place. And that wouldn't be good. Just want us to win some. And the thing is, right? You look at the games coming up. What have we got now? We've got some misery games, haven't we? Coming. I think it's Liverpool midweek. Yeah, Liverpool in midweek. Tamworth next weekend. Which, look, please. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know. We all do the Spurs. They're a national. They're a National League side, right? With all due respect to the National League. I've watched a little bit of it this season. Watched a couple of games just because I fancied it. I can't remember one of the weekends when I think it was an international duty game. I went to watch I went to watch Aldershot, and there's a lad playing. What's his name? Josh. What's he called? Aldershot. Basically, there's this lad that plays for Aldershot Town who's called. I can't remember what his name is. But honestly, I mean, what I would say is this lad he's a baller, as people would say. He's absolutely a quality player, but genuinely speaking, Josh Barrett, he genuinely has the build of a bloke down the pub. Like, he actually does, right? He looks like one of the best players in the National League. I'm not going to lie, right? All due respect to these lads, I'm sure. Put me out there, they'll mug me off completely. I get that. I know that, right? They're semi-professional. But Tottenham Hotspur, whatever our injury crises are, whatever our illnesses are, honestly, we should be able to field our reserves and beat a National League team. I'm not buying this. Like, we might lose to. Just don't. I know magic of the cup, all that sort of stuff, right? We cannot lose to Tamworth. So just know. The North London derby on a Wednesday. I mean, like I say, I've got this ridiculous, pathetic hope that we might just turn up there somehow, and just win. The reality is, as Tom Foyne said to me, Arsenal could score a number of goals against us, which would mean a number so high that they'd need to create a new word to tell you what that number is. It's going to go. I mean, it could. That Arsenal game could end up like today, where it's a hard fought, that we still lose, but it's hard fought, and we come out with it with at least a sense of pride. Or genuinely, they could beat us like 8-1, and it could be horrific. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what's. I don't, I've. It feels. The thing is, I don't want to go in too much on this stuff because I know we've got these injury problems, and I know maybe maybe our transfer policy hasn't been very good. I think the squad is, it's short, isn't it? The squad is understaffed, if you like. We want to put it that way. And I don't want to come across as too, like, I'm sort of censoring myself here, hence the pauses, because I'm trying to find like the correct angle to approach this from. But I don't like I don't really honestly, in terms of form, at least let's just put it down to form. Let's forget the data, let's forget the numbers or whatever, or any of the recency of culture wars and social media battles and stuff around football, right? Just the pure kind of, if we take it down to this type of data, we take it down to the form. In my 39 years as a Spurs fan, this is, among some of the worst form I've ever seen Spurs in. Um, I'm not saying the football. I'm not making a comparison. I saw some people today talking about are Spurs as bad as they were in the 90s right now. Is this as bad as it was? And some people say, no, don't be ridiculous. Of course we're not. And that sort of a thing. But we're losing a lot of games. We're losing a hell of a lot of games. Is it 10 now? Isn't it? It's 10 losses. Yep, 10 losses this season. More losses than wins. Bottom half of the table. Like I said, we could be 14th by the end of the weekend if things don't go our way. It's not all on Ange Postecoglou, but something seriously needs to change. I've seen some people sort of losing their asses because we're seeing already. I think West Ham are buying a player. I think Brentford have already bought a player, and I've seen sort of people doing that sort of that ironic kind of, "Ugh, these other teams are already buying players. Pull your finger out, Langer." But at the same time, yeah, like do that. There's people who are paid a lot of money who work at this club whose sole job. Think about what your job is. Think about what you do to earn money. You personally, I'm talking to you, the listener, the viewer, whoever, right? What you do day to day for your job is to achieve an aim, right? And if you were being paid to sign players to make Tottenham Hotspur better, to make Tottenham Hotspur Football Club better, it doesn't just start when the January window opens, right? So why will it probably be that, I mean, maybe we'll get this goalkeeper in and great, but why will it probably be that we're only going to bring in players right at the very end of January? And people say, yeah, no business gets done in January. We can't panic buy and all this type of stuff. But it's still a transfer window. We still know that this is a work in progress. We still know that there's players that need to be added to this team. We know we're short. We've known that. It's not a panic buy. It's not a panic buy if you've had from the summer till January to look at the team, look at what's missing, which people like me can, anybody can, bloke down the pub, whoever. Anybody can sit there and tell you that Spurs are short in the fullback positions. We can tell you that Spurs probably need another central midfielder. We need somebody with a bit of experience, somebody with the tenacity to play within this system, to help us control the ball, to help us control possession, to help us dictate the game. We need somebody that has the ability to do that because Bentancur either isn't quite up to it or whatever. Basuma is too inconsistent. Bergvall's too young. Archie Gray is too young, seemingly, because we don't trust him to play in that position yet, right? Pape Matar isn't quite that type of player. Probably plays alongside the player that we need for this. So it's not a panic. It's not a panic buy to have somebody lined up to bring in at this point. And I know maybe prices will be warped. Teams don't really want to sell in the middle of a season, so that's probably part of this. But something needs to change at Spurs. Something has to change. Like every single season, we have this as a culture war. We have this as why haven't Spurs signed any players yet? And then it's all people will be saying, some of you let Levy get away with this, and the other people saying, imagine getting all wound up about not buying players in January. But the thing is, more often than not, what happens with Spurs is every single year is we either don't buy anybody in January or we buy them right at the very end of January. Actually, the last time I think when we acted quite decisively and quite quickly in January was bringing in Bentancur and Kulusevski, and that's paid off very well for us. So, I think a lot of this kind of this mythology that you can't do anything in January, that there's no deals to be had, that there's only panic and there's no really good players there, is not true. And when you do have people employed to make Tottenham Hotspur better on the football pitch by signing players, and you know, I mean, look, maybe we will. Look, it's the 4th of January. I get it. Like, I'm losing my ass a bit too soon, but it's just annoying. It's annoying that we're still in this position where we're like, well, maybe we could be not losing basically. Maybe we could not be so resigned to losing basically every game that we're going to play because we've got injuries, because the squad's not big enough. So what are we to do? Well, it's not a force of nature. We're not talking about trying to like fight off the tide or make a day longer, slow down the sun or something. We're talking about Spurs not having enough players, not having a squad that's fit for purpose, and having people employed to buy players, not doing that. So, I don't know. I'm probably just losing my ass. I'm probably a bit annoyed, a bit wound up about Spurs continuing to lose games. But you know what? Again, let's default back. Let's go back to the good place. Let's go back to the happy place and talk about the players with a bit of fight today. The players playing with a lot of heart, with a lot of spirit, and just kind of grab onto that, because like I say, the thing is, there's I felt dejected about Spurs over the past few weeks quite a bit, and I felt frustrated with Ange Postecoglou. I felt frustrated with, should I say, the way we've been playing, or I don't know, whatever. But today I don't feel that. I feel annoyed that we're just short, that we don't have enough players, that we're in this ridiculous position, and that Daniel Levy was charging £100 a ticket for today, and continues to basically plead poverty as the owner of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, one of the most profitable and highly valued clubs, sports institutions on the face of the planet. We'll just let that sink in. Let's do the players. So Brandon Austin, I thought, was really good. Really, really good. Kind of frustrates me that Fraser Forster has been preferred to him so much. Don't really get it. I thought he was really good, really decisive in the majority of his actions. Was decent. There were a couple of one-on-ones. He pulled off a couple of good saves from. Notably, I think it was, what's his name at the very end? I think that lad. I can't remember what it was called. He's I don't know, that lad, Harvey Barnes, is it? I don't know, whoever they bought from Leicester. He had a one-on-one with him and he did really well with it. So yeah, that's that's that. Sorry, I just got a message. The reason why I got a bit distracted there, I got a message. There's apparently, doesn't matter, I don't need to tell you. I'll keep you speculating as to what the message might be about. Jed Spence, great performance today. Again, annoying that he hasn't gotten more time playing for Spurs. Great that he is now. Again, like I say, it's a shame that that's come as a result of injuries and all that type of thing. But good performance from Jed Spence today. Asked to fill in at centre back, asked to fill in at left back. Done a great job in both. Physically great, technically great. I think maybe he was a couple of a bit lax in a couple of his actions today, but for the most part, very, very good. Archie Gray, 18 years old, playing his first season of senior top flight football. Out of position, absolute revelation. Kid's brilliant. No complaints whatsoever. Wonderful, wonderful player. It's going to be great to see him playing midfield when he does in his favoured position. Hopefully, anyway. Radi Dragusin, appalling today, utterly awful, but ill. So tried to fight through that, mitigating circumstances. Probably not very good anyway as a baseline, but still ill today. So let's cut him some slack. But truly, truly awful today. Why not? Why not give Dorrington some minutes? I don't know. I know he's young, but Pedro Porro, best game in an absolutely youngster day for Pedro Porro. Funny what a bit of a rest might do for somebody, eh? But really, really good. Some of the delivery for Solanke at the top, I should have probably made more from that. That was sumptuous, absolutely delicious delivery, wonderful finish, lovely goal, like really, really top draw goal from us today. Pedro Porro, yeah, he played a lot of lovely balls into the box today. Really good performance, defensively good as well. I thought. Like he's often picked at for his defensive capacity. Really, really good defensively as well. I thought today. Pape Matas. I'm going to lump Pape Matas and Lucas Bergvall together today. I thought they both were trying their best, and I thought they were both good individually, good at what they did. Probably good on the ball, if you like. Like when they're in possession, they're both good, but I think neither of them probably have that presence or that experience or just that canniness to command the midfield, especially against Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and Joe Linton. Like that's a tall order. Newcastle absolutely dominated midfield today, dominated the tempo, dominated mostly sort of the kind of the ebb and the flow of the match. I still think even when we were in the ascendancy, if you like, we were never really in control, I would say. It always felt like we were kind of grabbing opportunities and trying to rattle Newcastle. We did really well, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is we were never comfortably in control. And maybe that's kind of an Ange Postecoglou thing as well. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like blitzing other teams is sort of part of it. But Newcastle always felt like they were kind of like they had a firm foothold in that midfield today. And, those three players that I've listed there in their midfield are really, really top draw players. So no slight on Pepe Matsar or Lucas Bergvall, two players who I rate very, very highly. They just, like I say, outside of possession, they just, I don't think they gave us enough today. Timo Werner, pointless player. I can't be bothered to waste any further breath on it, really. Nice lad, whatever, but what's the point? Brennan Johnson, too much of a passenger today. Look, Brennan Johnson's great for the system. Brennan Johnson's great when you can feed him the ball. Obviously very clinical. Obviously scores a lot of goals when the ball is put in the right places for him. But he doesn't do enough to help us kind of dominate matches. Doesn't do enough really on or off the ball. I don't think. Whatever. It's not his fault. It's the player that he is, and it's the player that we signed. I don't think anything bad of him as an individual. Dejan Kulusevski, great today. Again, a warrior. Basically, it gives us all of our thrust, doesn't he? Carries that ball, really, really is in the trenches, really fights in that midfield, really fights to gain possession, drag the ball forward, try and get things going for Spurs, try and get things ticking over. I think I think he's a wonderful player. I got a few pelters last week. I mean, not pelters. I got a few people being like, again, another. I can't remember what it was. I can remember exactly what he said. Is again somebody else, another podcaster that doesn't watch games properly or something like that. Who essentially, in summary, says that Dejan Kulusevski is too wasteful in possession. I don't know. I haven't noted that myself. Maybe, but there's some food for thought. That's me shining a light on the other half of my Kulusevski unadulterated praise at all times. But he's been our best player this season. So there's a long queue of players I'd rather dig out before him. Dominic Solanke, wonderful finish today. Was just a genuine nuisance for most of the game. Lovely player. I got a lot of time for him. Quite unlucky, I think he did well to get on the end of a few other crosses and the like from Pedro Porro. So, whatever. Sergio Reguilon came on and did really. I thought Reguilon was really, really good today. Was really, really good. And again, it's another. This is where again, I know people don't want to hear it, but this is where I would give Ange Postecoglou some side eye. Again, why Sergio Reguilon when do you know what I mean? When we've been so short in those positions, why has Sergio Reguilon been nowhere to be seen? Because he's clearly serviceable is to put it like probably in harsh terms, serviceable player for this system. I thought he was really good today, really good. Dare I say his performance today was better than a lot of Destiny Doggy's performances have been this season. I'm not saying he's a better player than Destiny Doggy. Destiny Doggy has been absolutely knackered for huge parts of this season, right? And having a player like Sergio Reguilon there able to fill in would be good, right? Son Heung-min, pretty bright when he came on, didn't do loads though, did he really? Yves Bissouma, I know he kind of splits a lot of opinion, but I still think Yves Bissouma came on and allowed Spurs a bit more control in midfield, right? His experience, his ability, he could battle with Newcastle's midfield a bit more, I feel. And yeah, we started to not control the game, but we at least had more of a foothold in the game when he came on. James Maddison, probably you could say some of that of him, but at least, I mean, he was very, very threatening from set pieces, James Maddison, and did whip in a few sort of nice balls here and there. So, look, it's frustrating to lose again today. I think most of these players gave a really good account of themselves, though. So, I'm not here to sort of dig players out today. I think they all did really well. I mean, really well is probably a bit, a bit OTT, but they did well given the circumstances. So let's cut them some slack. I think I'll end that one there today. So, yep. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for listening, watching, listening, whatever. Come and join Patreon, patreon.com/RTRpods, where there's more podcasts. You can join as a free member and sometimes get some of the pods for free. Or you can join as a paid member and help support the show and all that type of thing. If not, get it, fine, fair enough. Please leave a rating or leave a review or share the podcast where you share stuff. There will be a win, hopefully, coming up soon for us. Really? There will be, won't there? I hope so. Anyway, until that time, come on you Spurs. Much love. Bye-bye.